Hello and welcome back to another episode of Track Talk. Today we are joined by the one and only Conan. How you doing?
Hi, you can call me David.
Awesome. Yeah, so,
Yeah,
some of the guests I've had to call by their screen names, and that can get pretty interesting depending on what the screen name
yeah,
is. But um, but yeah, you gave me your name. I'll give you mine. You can call me
hmm
James if you wish.
James.
But
Okay.
yeah, so kind of more of a
By the
loose.
way, Longwear t-shirt,
Oh,
the old school one.
I've been trying to get my hands on a Line Rider T-shirt for a while. That's epic. I'm
All
definitely
right,
jelly. So, yeah, I believe the first track we're going to be talking about is What?
all right. I'm gonna screen share now.
Sure.
Um, so this track started off as I think I started in 2008, and I was just making some artwork. Nothing too interesting there. I was just doing stuff that I thought was in my style. Then I thought, all right, let's try mixing things up. Let's try doing something. It was like, I think 2013. I was getting bored of tracks and thought, all right, let's try to do something a little different. Let's try different techniques. Let's try multi-lining.
Oh,
So
that was
we
new at the
have,
time.
yeah, it was new at the time around, yeah. So I did that to create these stronger rows than usual. And then I mean, some years between 2010 and 2013, uh, I saw the cram wheel was invented, was discovered, and I thought this is the most absurd trick I've ever seen. This looks absolutely ridiculous. I'm just like, what? And and that's where it came from. Like that's the rest of this track is like, um, well, first we have like more of these multi-lining, and then more of trying to do something very different. So yeah, the this part, this was very novel at the time. I only shared like I forgot what year, but I only shared a little clip of this. I just
Yeah, a
wanted to
little
do
no
something
rope.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that spawned a lot of no rotation stuff. Anyway,
Did you
and
get
then the
hate
rest of
for
the track
using green
was
lines?
yeah, whatever. And then rest of the track, well, I still was confused by the crime rules, so I did it again.
Oh wow.
um, Yeah, and then later on, I thought, what if I forgot exactly the order, but at some point I thought I'm gonna just make. I forgot. Well, I forgot. It was 2015. I thought, what if I made a song to synchronize to this track? So, um, so I did, and then we have this part. It's little John doing his thing, and then I forgot exactly how I did this. Um, Right. I think I planned how this was going to go. Like I used Ableton and sequenced it in the automation, and then recreated it in LineWriter.
Huh.
Um, well, anyway,
So what do you mean by that? Sorry, you sequenced it and then you added it to Line Rider, you said?
yeah, it's like writing. It's like composing music, except punching in notes and drawing ramps in the digital audio workstation I use, Ableton,
Oh,
and
I
then I
see.
copied it over or I forgot exactly how I planned it out, but I did plan this entire section out in advance,
Huh.
and then yeah,
That's nuts. And what year was this track
but
again? Did you say it was
to
2015?
yeah, it was finally released in 2015, um, and it, the biggest thing about this track, I mean, everyone remembered it for music syncing, but again, it's like what because the Cranberry, I'm still just this is a ridiculous trick. Like you guys turned it into a whole technique and all, but I still look at it and think this is Bosch is a kid flattened into a pancake. This is silly.
It's
I'm gonna make
absurd.
this silly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess for me, watching that track the first time I saw that, I mean, coming from a different, like, more modern era of Line Rider, I didn't really notice the Cramwheel that much. I was just like, it was just more like the Watts. I thought it was just like singing to the song, so I didn't even, I didn't even really contemplate the Cramwheel. But I can see now at the time that yeah, that would have been pretty hard
I mean,
hitting.
even in 2015, it was pretty common crime moves, but I still wanted to bring attention to how
Hmm.
it's really silly. Like, how can it's for people who are not familiar with Line Rider or just who are not deep in Line Rider, it would look absurd. Like what happened
Yeah,
there.
yeah, like bringing that aspect of the game to them in like a kind of recognizable format. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an important thing because that's something that you do with a lot of these techniques that maybe wouldn't really be looked at otherwise.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
go ahead, yeah.
Yeah. If you have, I'm about to move on to Ragdoll, unless you have any questions about what
Um, was syncing common by that point, or did you not have the tools quite yet?
was thinking. What?
Was
Oh, there are no tools for that.
okay, so
I
that makes more sense to me now. Yeah,
Yeah.
now I understand what you're saying with your workstation and stuff.
Yeah. I recorded a video and then created a soundtrack to the video. It worked out that way.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes it more awesome.
all right. So Ragdoll. I'm gonna turn on screen share again. So this was made in a span of 48 hours, a very stressful 48 hours for the first track jam.
Yeah,
And going in, I thought, I'm gonna like it started like 1 hour, like for about an hour. I was like, what am I gonna make? And I thought, what if I just coded an animation? Funny how things turned out. Anyway, but then I decided, you know what? I'm gonna make an offset track, and I remembered there was this other track that a very old Beta 1 track that used the Black Betty song that I thought was really silly, and I thought, all right, this too will be silly. Gonna set up some expectations, like what's gonna happen. Here's the setup into the crawl manual, the crawl manual, um, and it's a manual. You have to balance it. It's all balanced,
does he
and
actually hold that crawl position? Because I was kind of
yes.
experimenting with this the other day when I made what was it called in my time of need, that little short thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like there are certain odd positions you can just get him to hold for
Oh
whatever
yeah,
reason.
like here, it's like
Yeah,
a tail manual. Like
yeah,
you got
it's like a
the
tripod
smaller
almost.
constraint. Yeah, it's a triangle. You could and do what you will with triangles. Anyway, so and these like little stabilizers, or they would function as stabilizers, but I use it to modulate the arm positions. And then, right, yeah, I got the idea because of my earlier track from like 2008 Cruise Control. It had I've realized you could do this little effect of switching the arms. Anyway, and then we have the middle section. And I thought, all right, the music has changed. Let's. Oh yeah, there was still. I used RJS for this, and I didn't implement music sync at the time. I just had timestamps and worked from there.
Yeah.
Anyway, music changed. I thought, all right, we gotta have a more active section. Let's make a parody of Manuquirk. Let's do Manuquirk, except entirely crawling, and
Yeah,
these are like little flings and loops, like as you expect in Manuquirk, except well,
yeah,
off
except off
sled.
sled. Yeah,
It's like this was the most time-consuming part, I think, or it took up a lot more time than I anticipated. I was like, this is so brief and flashes by. This is not really worth my time, but I just worked through it anyway.
yeah,
And then in this section, I was like, all right, kind of mix it up, trying to let's make Bosch crawl on all four legs, and then later on, I was like, all right, let's make Bosch stand up, do a little dance, and then all right,
it's like
upside down. Of course, the best for last. Like a little cartoon. It's like
yeah, it's kind of like watching I don't know, like maybe because he's on a sled all the time, it's like I don't know, it's watching someone who's been crippled like learn to walk again almost.
Yeah, yeah, it has that um, comic aspects of being that kind of really cartoony. Because I
Yeah,
saw when I look at Liner, I see this kid on a sled. Like I don't think I can't. For one thing, it's hard to take seriously. So want
yeah,
to take it to the
exactly.
extreme. So and then this one ran out of time and threw together some stacks to get it over with, and turned out that's all my friends' favorite parts. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And that's
that's
Ragdoll.
crazy. And one of the things about Ragdoll, which I think should be said, is that no one, no one since Ragdoll. Well, actually, was it Gavin made Cha Cha Slide, which was you know, a good entertaining off sled track, but no one's really made like a serious attempt to like go beyond Ragdoll. I think like Ragdoll is kind of one of those tracks where we're like, oh, well, off sled is kind of shut down. Maybe we shouldn't like try and try and best that. So I'm kind of waiting at the moment for like the next like off sled track where someone tries to take some of those ideas and maybe like see what else can be done. I don't know
Hmm.
about you.
I mean, we have Doodle Chaos's. What was it? Well, he has some offset tracks. Um,
They're not really off sled though. They're just more just like kind of like falling along. Like it's not like the same where you have them like standing and like like being alive. Like in Doodle Chaos's off sled tracks, like Bosch is essentially a ragdoll, but in your ragdoll track, like he's not a ragdoll. He's like alive. If you see what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah,
And well, you could do a different music sync in this style. Like
yeah,
this is very regular. This was in 2015,
yeah,
before actual music sync. I think there are opportunities to
yeah.
experiment further.
It's a great concept, which I think could be like delved into. I mean, I have recently come to understand that it's possible to actually make ragdoll on sled, but it would take about maybe 100 times as long to make.
Oh yeah.
uh,
Well, then again, I made okay, which is kind of like that.
yep.
All right.
So
So
with
let's
that,
talk about
let's
that.
move on to OK. Now this is one of
Yeah.
my personal favorite tracks of the year. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah. Okay, turning on screen share. In a way, they're all three tracks are kind of like high effort shit posts, because
Yeah.
I'm not really taking it. This is not meant to be taken seriously at all.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
yes, little control over limbs, also to prepare for 10-point cannons. Yeah, so we'll reveal my secrets.
yeah. I
I
believe you
made
said
this in the
you.
span of
Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah. I made the actual track in a span of 3 days, which is longer than I anticipated.
So did you?
Um,
You said you in the description you used some kind of math to like make this.
yeah, I okay. So it was in July. I made the analyzer.
Hmm.
Remember this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I spent like 7 days working on the analyzer, and I thought it exposed me to like the internals and made me really think about how it really works, like the internals. Then I watched Noah's 10-point cannon tutorial and was like, this makes sense. This is very straightforward. I could probably implement this in code. Then I implemented it in code. I spent 4 days creating a 10-point cannon generator, and I don't even remember how to use this.
Oh my god, this is making me laugh my ass off. A for gaming, if you're watching this, poor kid is gonna like friggin' die. He's been trying to
Oh
make
yeah,
the well-tempered 10-point cannon, and all this time you've had a program that could just literally generate his track in like 2 minutes. Oh Jesus.
yeah. I don't know what to say about that.
Oh my god. That's like the funniest shit I've heard all year. Like here we are like literally man, killing ourselves to make these 10-point cannons, and you have a program that can just make them? Jeez, dude. And you can, like, Jesus.
Why is this not working? I can't really demonstrate right now. I forgot how to make it work. Yeah, it's not perfect. As I said, it took 3 days instead of 1 day. But
That's still ridiculous, though. With me watching this, I was like, "Huh, you must have spent ages like getting these so lined up, and you just coded it."
yeah, it's not working.
Jeez.
Okay, anyway, yeah, this is like it mostly works, except there are like slight variations. It's not perfect, so that's why like I just had to fiddle around a lot with the settings to make it as static as possible to create that really unusual cartoony effect of like
yeah,
this
like
is not
those
natural
bounces.
motion, and I'm very
Yeah.
conscious of it. It took a lot of like again, it took a lot of fiddling to trial and error to. It still took trial and error to make it this perfect. And then it was halfway through. I thought, all right, we gotta mix it up. So I thought, all right, offset. And then I went back into here and created temple and cannon generator for specifically only the rider and the sled.
Dude, you're
separately.
blowing my mind right now. This is insane.
Oh, hey, this works. Okay, that flew off. Yes, it was as a little rotation. So, anyway, that's why Bosch moves a little bit. It's not perfect. Couldn't make it that way. And then, okay, here, and then I had to, it was in this part I had to dive into the track and manually add these lines to realign Bosch to where I want Bosch to be. So there was still some manual work, a little bit.
That's so
just a little
funny.
bit. And then at the end, I thought, all right, time to make Bosch try to do a little dance. Oh, okay, this part.
Oh, Jesus. Like, this is just like...
I just think it's so funny.
This is like twice as funny to me now that I know like there's like a whole new level to this meme of a track.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought at the end, all right, if these tempo and cannons are not perfect, I could at least shift Bosch into these positions and make and hold them in a way. It's a lot of trial and error again,
Yeah.
but at least it's all automated.
That's
Okay.
hilarious.
And that's all I got.
Dude, that blew my mind. Damn it. I still can't get over that. Have you ever thought of making like a tool like that for other techniques as well?
I thought about it, but it's not. Is it worth my time?
Not really. Like, you'd probably make the people more mad if you made like a fling generator or like a manual generator. Yeah. But that's like...
I don't know. Who knows? We'll see what I end up making.
Well, I mean, Rabbit showed me yesterday the code you made for Superflu. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. That also took a lot of math. Like I had to formalize. I mentioned again and again. I saw those parallel lines and bugs. Even realized, okay, there's some mathematics in there, and then I formalized it, and then discovered, okay, you can stretch it, and it'll rotate with whatever. Yeah, math.
Yeah, I'd love to see someone take the concepts of like where it kind of looks like, you know, reality is being twisted and warped, or we get those kind of interesting 3D effects from what looks like wires intersecting. I'd love for someone to take that to another level, and that track did a lot with it. I'd like to see someone do it more where it's like more like Andrew Hess did it, like with the kind of real like mind blowing sweeps and stuff. But yeah, It's awesome. You can do that with code. So what's next for you, Conan, in tracks? Have you got another epic shitpost that might be coming out soon?
Finishing Omniverse 2.
Oh, going back a ways there.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot more serious, but I'm not going to be too serious about it as well. Right. I forgot to mention with OK.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I made this track is that I saw how popular template cannons were, and I recognize to the outsider, it's such a jarring
Yep.
move that I'm gonna just take to really make that really put attention on how jarring it is.
Yep. You also kind of managed to actually showcase what they do very well to a general audience, but you also showed how how strange they are whilst managing to simultaneously blow everyone's mind in the community. So it's an all round well appreciated track in that sense. So
Yeah.
is there anything about this track you don't like, or would you consider that a complete success?
It did what I wanted to do. I was wondering, okay, and there sometimes I'm like scrolling through social media and see some very short clips of random dancers dancing unexpectedly to dance music, and I thought, okay, this might be one of those things, so that's why I added my link to my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So like it had that potential to be one of those silly
Yeah.
dance video clips, but didn't happen, which is like, all right, it's just a matter of luck.
It's a good practice anyway, to be honest, just so your stuff doesn't get freebooted.
Yeah.
But
otherwise, I don't have like with what it's just like retrofitting an idea onto an existing track. With Ragdoll, it had a good time constraint and it did what I wanted to do. And same thing with OK, it did what I wanted to do. I don't have any. It's very limited in scope in what I want to explore, and I just do one thing and do it very well, and that's it.
Yeah, it works well. I think we've lost your video feed for some reason.
Oh, hello.
Oh, there you are. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I guess we got through all three of your tracks. Is there anything else you'd like to say about them?
If you want to think about how people perceive your tracks, talk to them. Or like, I'm just very conscious of how people like. I always struggle to explain to my friends the nature of Line Rider and what's going on, and the heavy emphasis on technique or how deep technique has gone. That I hope that these tracks brings back how far we've gone.
Yeah, it's like
helps us to be conscious of that. If we care about how these tracks look like to our people, like I'm gonna make a criticism on Peaceful Nights. It was actually a pleasant track, besides the fact that Bosch was flattened into a pancake. That was not very peaceful.
Yeah, that's like the only that part is kind of at odds with the rest of the track, but there are also elements in that track where they did use stuff that's like higher level techniques to great effect. Like I would point to the 10-point cannon at the end of that track was like really well implemented. It's just a great way of stopping him, but like it isn't visually jarring. He just like appears in the next scene or whatever. But I guess it depends on what you perceive Line Rider to be, as you say. And I think your tracks do a very good job of kind of trying to bridge that divide that can get set up. Because I remember, as an uninitiated Line Rider boy, way back in my teens, I would see these tracks, with like the crazy quirk or whatever, and they wouldn't have anywhere near as many views. But I'd be like, what on earth is going on here? I have no idea. It wasn't until much later when I rejoined and found the community that I actually began to understand what they were and how to actually make them, because I was curious or whatever. But yeah, I think you're totally right. I've actually often considered doing something like that myself, trying to bring like some of these kind of like weirder techniques and trying to find a way to make them more mainstream, or just highlight how bizarre they are in a way that people can actually like relate to, I guess.
Right, and at this point, like I'm decided that the greatest value in Line Rider as an animation tool is how it's a physics simulator. It simulates our expectations of how a sledder would ride in the real world. So that's how I'm gonna go about things Or besides Omniverse 2, I just need to finish that up.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as animation scenery go, these days with certain tools, you can literally just download a video and put it into Landrider if you really want to, and it's just like not even do it, or you can just put in entire images if you have the processing power to render them. But yeah, so here's looking forward to a good Landrider future. So thanks for doing this interview, Conan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to having you back at some point for the Behind the Lines episode, because we haven't actually said this, but for anyone who doesn't realize, Conan is the developer of .com, the official version of Landrider. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
And to anyone watching this, leave some love, leave some hatred below. Aether, if you're watching this, don't hate on the 10 PC generator. It was going to come out eventually. And thanks again, and see you all next time.
See ya.